Dishonesty is a tricky one because I'll tell myself things that aren't true and I believe them to be true. And that is because for years I was dishonest and manipulative and doing things to get what I wanted, which was mainly drugs, money, that sort of stuff. It goes back to those survival skills that I use while out there in active addiction. And the first dishonesty I came to realize that I was going through was the fact that I did not admit that I had a problem with drugs. Denial is a very strong thing. The problem with addiction is that it's the only disease that'll tell you that you don't have it. For cancer patients, the doctor will come in and say, you got cancer. So then what do you do to treat it? But this is very tricky dealing with the disease of addiction because I have denial. It'll tell me that I don't have a problem, that I can control my use of substances, and then I'll just continue on getting high or drinking or whatever it is. Any manifestation of my addiction. So that is definitely a level of dishonesty. Telling myself that it's okay, and I'll rationalize and I'll justify, I'll minimize my behavior by saying that it's okay. But that's just a form of dishonesty. And it happens in all aspects of my life. I like to tell myself I'm not having a problem with this or that. And so I won't tell people. I'll keep it to myself. They'll come up to me and they'll say, hey, how you doing? I'll say, oh, I'm good. And I won't say anything else. And that's another form of dishonesty. And because I'm having issues, I need to talk to people about them, but I'm not letting people into my life, and I'm being dishonest about the degree at which I'm having problems and I'm struggling. I need to share. I need to get these things out there with people. And most importantly, I need to be honest with myself and tell myself that I have a problem. And if I can't admit that that I have a problem, then there's no way to come about getting a solution. I can never recover from drugs and alcohol if I did not first admit that I was an addict, that I am dealing with addiction. So that's really a step to take. I don't like to say that I lie or I manipulate, but there's these forms of dishonesty that are easier to identify. I don't often talk about things that are not true with other people and just blatantly lie and be aware of it. Sometimes it's harder to identify, but it gets easier to identify the longer I stay clean and sober. Right now, it's very obvious that I'm being dishonest with people if they're asking me how I'm doing and I'm struggling with stuff and I'm not telling them at gut level what's going on with me. And sometimes I like to just embellish the truth. If I'm talking about my active addiction, sometimes I like to portray myself as this badass drug dealer that did all these things, and sometimes I'll embellish the truth. And the reality is that I was just pathetic. I wasn't so much bad as I was pathetic. So it's just better for me to just be honest with people. And that comes down to being humble having humility and just saying, look, I got a problem. I need help. And that's the process I go through. Thanks.